The Six-Day War, also known as the 1967 War or the Third Arab-Israeli War, is a pivotal event in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This brief but intense war occurred in June 1967 and led to significant changes in the Middle East, including Israel's occupation of key territories. To fully grasp the impact of this conflict, we need to explore its background, the causes that led to the war, and its far-reaching consequences. Background: the seeds of conflict. To understand the Six-Day War, it's crucial to examine the historical context that gave rise to the conflict. The roots of this war stretch back to the late 1940s, when the 1948 to 1949 Arab-Israeli War resulted in the creation of the State of Israel. This conflict not only established Israel, but also led to the expulsion of between 650,000 to 750,000 Palestinians, creating a refugee crisis that strained neighboring Arab countries. Furthermore, the United Nations 1947 partition plan proposed dividing the land into separate Jewish and Arab states. While Israel accepted this plan, which allocated 56% of the territory to the Jewish state, subsequent wars and territorial expansions resulted in Israel controlling 78% of the land. The Suez Crisis, a prelude to war. Building on this historical context, the Suez Crisis of 1956 serves as a critical prelude to the Six-Day War. Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser's nationalization of the Suez Canal posed a threat to Western economic and security interests. This vital maritime route, connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea, was crucial for global trade. In response to this threat, Israel, with the support of Britain and France, launched an invasion of Egypt. The goal was to seize the canal and force Nasser's resignation. However, the operation faced setbacks, and the UN intervened, eventually leading to the withdrawal of the invading forces. Despite this failure, Israel gained strategic advantages, including access to the Straits of Tiran, a crucial maritime passage that Egypt had blockaded since 1948. Water security and military alliances. With the Suez Crisis setting the stage, the issue of water security became a significant factor leading up to the Six-Day War. Shortly after its establishment, Israel sought to use Lake Tiberias, supplied by the Jordan River, to irrigate the Negev Desert. This move threatened neighboring Arab countries, which relied on the Jordan River for their water supply. The fear of Israeli control over vital water resources exacerbated regional anxieties and led to the formation of military alliances among Arab states. The war unfolds. June 1967. In the spring of 1967, a series of events triggered the outbreak of the Six-Day War. Egyptian President Nasser, misled by Soviet intelligence reports, believed that Israel was mobilizing forces on the Syrian border. In response to this perceived threat, Nasser took decisive actions, including requesting the withdrawal of UN peacekeepers from the Sinai Peninsula and closing the Straits of Tiran to Israeli shipping. This move prompted Israel to launch a preemptive strike on June 5, 1967. Israeli jets executed a surprise attack on Egyptian airfields and military installations, catching Egyptian forces off guard. By June 10, 1967, the war had concluded, with Israel emerging victorious. Aftermath and consequences. The aftermath of the Six-Day War had profound and lasting implications. The Arab Summit in Khartoum in September 1967 saw Arab leaders rejecting any long-term peace with Israel. This stance was encapsulated in the three no's: no peace with Israel, no recognition of Israel, and no negotiations. In response, the United Nations adopted Resolution 242 in November 1967, advocating for a Land for Peace agreement. This resolution proposed that Israel return territories occupied during the war in exchange for peace and recognition. Final thoughts. Hence, the Six-Day War remains a defining chapter in Middle Eastern history, illustrating how deeply entrenched historical grievances and geopolitical rivalries can shape the course of nations. From the prelude of the Suez Crisis to the swift and dramatic conflict of 1967, the war's repercussions have resonated through the decades. Today, the aftermath of the Six-Day War continues to impact the region. The ongoing conflict, marked by Israel's actions in Palestine, is a stark reminder of the unresolved issues stemming from this pivotal moment in history. The struggle for peace remains as elusive as ever, with the legacy of the Six-Day War still influencing the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. That's all for this episode of World at War. The echoes of history remind us that the past is never truly past. It continues to shape our present and future. Stay tuned for more gripping stories from the front lines and deep dives into the conflicts that have defined our world. For more revelations and insights into the world's most impactful battles, don't forget to subscribe to World at War. And join us for the next chapter in our exploration of history's greatest wars. The story of our world is still being written. Be part of it with us.